The Boys and Girls Club has always been a safe haven for kids to play, learn, and build friendships.
Now the Boys and Girls Club of Central Orange Coast has embarked on a campaign called Pursuing Greatness. And here to discuss how you can help the Boys and Girls Club CEO of the Central Orange Coast is Robert Santana. Hi, Robert.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So I was part of the Boys Club back in the day, in the 50s, and it was a place for us to hang out, kind of keep the kids off the streets sort of thing, played basketball. A great organization.
Few organizations have been around as long as Boys and Girls Clubs, and you know, we're so lucky as a country to have great nonprofits that fill the gaps that we see in the communities that we serve. But Boys and Girls Club specifically is one of the few organizations that is entirely focused just on kids, making sure that they're prepared for the world that's waiting for them. Our Boys and Girls Club Central Orange Coast serves 9,000 kids in Orange County last year. And our mission is to ensure that every child has a mentor in life, that they have an advocate, a champion in their corner to be there to help them find their voice, to help them find their passion.
You know, because I also went to the Boys and Girls Club. My brother played basketball there for years. My dad was a coach there. I mean, but because of this campaign and this fundraising that you're doing for the Boys and Girls Clubs there, it's different than it was when I was a kid, isn't it?
Yes, we've evolved certainly. Yeah. Our Boys and Girls Club has served Orange County for 78 years. We're the oldest Boys and Girls Club in Orange County.
That's even older than I am.
It's incredible.
That's unbelievable.
And so it's exciting to be something that's an institution, something that's been around as long as we have, while at the same time being recognized and described as innovative, as forward-thinking, as relevant today as we were in 1941 when we first opened.
So what are you doing today? What's different about it today?
You know, I always describe the Boys and Girls Club as being that organization that's doing whatever is new. So today, we are exposing our kids to robotics, to coding, to 3D printers.
Wow.
I believe every child should learn to be an entrepreneur because that's a 21st century skill. Whether they own a business or not isn't really the point. It's just that we want our kids to understand how the world works today, and as adults, as leaders, we have the responsibility to prepare kids for their future, not ours, to help prepare them to solve their problems, not our problems. And so that means we have to prepare them for 21st century jobs. And as we look at unemployment in this country, we don't have unemployment because we don't have jobs. It's that we don't have people that are equipped for the jobs that are out in the market. So as a Boys and Girls Club, we're preparing kids for the types of skills that they will need in order to be successful in the 21st century economy.
And you know, you just wrapped up, or you're still continuing, but this big fundraising push. I mean, an incredible $7.1 million you raised, which is an unbelievable feat in this day and age, of course. But what is that money going to do? What is it going to help? Because, like you're saying, you have a big responsibility in preparing these young people.
Absolutely. As a CEO, my responsibility is to ensure that we invest every dollar that we raise in the most effective and most impactful way possible. This last year, we raised $7.1 million so that we can renovate all of our Boys and Girls Clubs, equip them for the 21st century. The way that we approached design for these buildings was to imagine that kids that will someday come to this club. So we're making decisions for kids that aren't born yet, and we're preparing them for jobs that haven't been invented yet. So as we looked at the design of these clubs, we wanted them to be fun, interactive. Everything in the building is brand new, but we were able to renovate completely our clubs in Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Irvine, and Newport Beach. And just in the last few weeks, as we kind of start to see the finish of these construction projects, neighbors are walking by the clubs, stopping and just thanking us for renovating these clubs. For us, you know, having a world-class Boys and Girls Club in your neighborhood is the equivalent of having an award-winning school. It's something that you would be proud to have in your community, whether you send your kids there or not. And so for us, as we looked at this Pursuing Greatness campaign, it was about inspiring the community to think about kids first. It was about us investing into kids that haven't been born yet. And it was about us making a bold statement that our kids deserve the very best. Pursuing greatness for us is about pursuing greatness for ourselves as the staff, as the board, pursuing greatness for the communities that we serve, and more importantly, it's seeing the potential that every kid has and helping them unlock that potential, helping them find their voice, their passion. And that means us having world-class facilities so that kids see
Can
how much we
thrive.
care
But
about
Just
them.
because you raised $7.1 million for this capital improvement of all these clubs, that doesn't mean that the fundraising doesn't continue. You still have to provide the facilities and the people to help and all of that sort of thing for the Boys and Girls Club. So you still are hoping that the public is generous enough to continue to donate and support you.
Absolutely. So both of you are products of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And what makes us unique as a youth service organization in this country is that we are not a fee-driven organization. It'd be really easy if we just passed on all the expenses of what it costs to operate a Boys and Girls Club to the families we serve. But the majority of the families we serve simply couldn't afford what it actually costs. So fundraising is a major component of a Boys and Girls Club. That's what makes Boys and Girls Clubs unique to other similar organizations. We have to raise funds from the community, private individuals, foundations, special events, corporate partners, and collectively, I think that's what makes our Boys and Girls Club movement so powerful and unique, is that it really is community driven. We serve the community, specific needs in the neighborhoods that we thrive in, but the funding primarily comes from community leaders and investors and philanthropists. And I think that creates this formula for us coming together, all agreeing, no matter what spectrum you may lie on the political side, everyone can always agree that kids are the highest priority. We have no other responsibility that's more important than to ensure that these kids do well and are better prepared than we are.
Well said, Robert.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing for the community, and of course, enjoy the new Boys and Girls Clubs.
Thank
How
you.
wonderful.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you
Robert
for being
Santana,
here.
thanks so much.